I'm Andrea Opitz. I'm the chair of the Central Europe Hub. And the new place to stand up for us is under the community. I think, yes, okay. So probably later we can introduce each other. Yeah. No. Okay. Thank you very much. So we are quite lucky that also a few relatively much committee members could join us today. So you might have heard yesterday already that there was the idea of the Europlanet Society to create hubs, to have contact like from bottom up and also from up to bottom. So to exchange information, there is this step for hubs. As well, you see the Central Europe Hub is containing a lot of countries, and it's very, very diverse, linguistically, culturally, probably not historically, but also the financing of science in our countries is very, very different. So it means that coordinating these countries is very hard, and I think there is no person who could, probably a full-time employee, but no person who could really keep in mind all the structures in all these countries. So it's Poland, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Hungary, Austria, and Slovenia. So what we really, really need, we need the country representatives, because actually about their country and their structure, it's them who know the most. And also the chair of the Central Europe Hub knows the most about her own country, so I have the most knowledge about the structure in Hungary. So if I need to know something about Poland, I will contact the Polish representative. So in the future, I would say, and I would like if the country representatives would be almost as important as the chair of the hub, because of reasons what I said before. So currently, our hub has the problem that our Austrian representative moved to the institute, so we had to step back, and we don't have a new Austrian representative. There is no Slovenian representative. I tried to post the attendees, and there was no Slovenian. Is there any Slovenian here in the room? No. Probably not even at the conference. We have to check that. And we could also have another industry officer. Yes, so again, about the committee members. So I'm the chair, then the Polish representative is Bela Sulik. Then Peter, can you stand up? Like Peter will be the next speaker. So he's the Czech representative. Then Susanna, it's from Slovakia. Then Pavel is not here. Then policy officer is Kereszturi from Hungary. He will have a talk today. Then Jan Susek is the other policy officer. I have seen him online yesterday. I don't know whether he is here already. Then Julie is here online. Hello, Julie. Jan Lukacevic. Julie is the outreach officer, and the other outreach officer is Jan Lukacevic, and Anna Losiak is our diversity officer. Okay, so hands up. Who came from Poland? Okay, I see no hands. No. If there's someone online, just hands up. Okay, Czechia. Very nice. Slovakia. Okay, I hope almost majority. Then Hungary. Okay. Oh, well, I think we won. Okay, we are very near. Austria. and Slovenia. So I don't want to waste time. Just yes. So this will be an informal discussion actually today, and there will be some short talks, which are to start the discussion.
Yes. Hey everyone. So as was said, I'm Petr Broz. I'm working at the Czech Academy of Sciences, and I'm a planetary scientist. And today I would like to give you a short overview about 3 different projects I was working on, or I'm still working. The first one is about the moon and irregular patches. I'm not sure if you ever heard these 3 strange words. Who knows what is irregular patches? Your hand ups, please. Okay, Akosh, that's nice that you know because he's involved in the team. Okay, so the issue is here that on the surface of moon we have some really strange looking enigmatic features, and they look like these. You can see the scale is 1 kilometer, and this is like really chaotic terrain when these are more elevated parts, and the others are the bottom of the field. In the scientific community, we don't really know what they are. However, we know that there are quite numerous on the surface of the moon. We know today about 90 edifices which are spread across the near side of the moon, and you can see that. Sorry, it's a bit confusing because this computer is giving me the screen of something different what I'm seeing here. So always I'm just stuck. But what you can see here that they are really looking strange, and why they are interesting. Sorry. Computer. One they are interesting for the scientific community is because when the people were doing a crater counting is the technique how you can establish the age of the surface of other bodies where we don't have samples from. And we find out that these edifices should be quite young, which is really surprising. Why? Because we believe that these edifices are volcanic in origin. Therefore, if they are really young, and with the word really young, I mean like few dozens of million years, it will be showing that the moon still has to have enough heat inside to actually produce a melt and therefore cause a volcanism. And this is really surprising finding because we believe that the moon is volcanically dead for billions years. So today, within the community, there is a scientific debate if these edifices are indeed really old, really young, or if they are old, and if they are old, that they are produce some very strange-looking material, which we call as a lava foam. What is a lava foam? Is the same stuff you are using when you are taking a bath, and you would produce a foam. The only difference is that the foam you produce in your bath would not kill you, but lava foam would have incredibly high temperature. But the amount of the bubbles is the same. So it's mainly really like a foamy structure, not something like a compact rock or some compact stuff. And what we are trying to do is to actually build a probe here in the Central European region, or better to say in the former Eastern countries. The probe is called Lunar Geological Orbiter, or LUGO, and we would like to study these enigmatic features. So there was an activity of the private company TR Space, which came with the idea that we should try to make a probe within this region because we would like to build a capability here to build it and to lead a mission, dedicated mission to the space. So at the moment, we are working on the development, on the proposal of this mission. We are currently in the phase 0. We got some money from ESA to develop the idea. And as you can see, the main task is now to try to, no, doesn't matter. We went trying in this part to now find out which exactly where my face is. Now we have, thank you. We have 4 different ideas which instruments we would like to put on board. We would like to go with LiDAR. We would like to go with high spectral imager sensor, ground penetrating radar, and narrow angle camera. And we would like to try to find out what these edifices are. And why I'm sharing this here today, because this is a possibility for us here in the Central European region to cooperate. If you would be interested from industrial point of view or from the scientific point of view, we are always happy to welcome somebody on board. we are always looking for more scientists who would like to spend their time by shaping the proposal, or also for industrial partners who would like to make some instruments in the future. So that was one part. Now I would jump into the outreach. I'm not sure, those of you who are from Czech, maybe you already heard about the Vesmírníček book. For those of you who are not, let me introduce. This was a project I was involved. I got an offer to prepare an outreach book for kids. It's called Vesmírníček, and it's about the exploration of the solar system, and it was prepared by me and my friend Lucie Škodová. What this book is about, this was the idea to really outreach the planetary science among the Czech public. Why? Because as planetary science, this is a subject I really love, and I wanted to make sure that others understand what the planetary science is about. So this book is not a typical encyclopedia when you have a random facts from the exploration of the solar system, but this book is trying actually to show via short stories how we are exploring something in the solar system. So there are 70 stories, 35 are why, and 35 are explaining how we are doing something. This book is written in the language for children between the age of, let's say, 8 to 10, but what is important from the beginning, the book was prepared the way that we were expecting that the people would be reading the book, or the parents would be reading the book with their children. So we were trying to make a book where we are not just reaching one target group, but actually both of them, you know, the older one and the younger one. It's a bit more complicated to prepare such book because it has to be entertainment for two communities, not just for small kids, but also for their parents. But it looks like that we were able to do it, and the people love the book. I will show you in the end. How the book is done, you can see there's always a big painting or a big illustration, which is in a simple way trying to explain some main message which is behind. For example, over here, this is about the oxygenic event, great oxygen event, which actually changed the atmosphere on the Earth. This is cyanobacteria, which is just picking up next oxygen and destroying the atmosphere for all other species which were living there before. So it's a risk, you know, to show some funny way how to do it. What happened when the book went into the market? We made a promise that each book which would be sold in pre-sold, we would sign it. It happened that when we arrived, there was a guy who was saying, do you have some snack with you? And we were like, no. And he was, you would spend here a couple of hours. And we were like, no kidding. So we had to sign 3 of these. We really spent there 4 hours. We signed it like more than 1,000 books. Yeah, this is how it looked. Thanks to these girls, they were just putting the books to our hands, and we were just signing all the time. Actually, sorry. Yeah, so that was a bit nightmare. Yeah. The lesson, how all this happened, actually the reason why I get the chance to write the book and why we sold so many copies was because of my social network. I'm quite active on Twitter. I'm followed by a huge amount of the people, and once it happened to me that somebody who was following me on my Twitter get me the offer if I would like to write a book. And I was like, yeah, why not? I have no idea how much time it would take and how crazy it would be, but I did it. And then I was trying to advertise on my social profile that I'm writing a book, and that's the reason why people started to buy the book. Even before it was on the market, we sold more than 1,000 copies. Yeah, this is how the Twitter is looking now. If you would search for Vesmírníček, there is a huge amount of the pictures, how the people were sharing the pictures of the book. I was in the subway in Prague. Yeah. This is mainly for those of you who are watching the Czech TV. Maybe you know this show. This is the show which is incredibly popular in Czech. Once I got the phone from the guy who is behind this show, of course I have no idea who is he, so I Googled. But this is a show which has like 1 million views in Czech, which is a huge number. And I was invited there to speak about the book. Why this is important? Because this is the place where this is a famous Czech singer, this is a famous Czech dancer, and I'm a geologist. So, you know, such outreach project can actually open you a door to outreach the science among the population which doesn't care about the science at all. So that was great because for half an hour I was making a jokes about rocks. So yeah, that's the way which can happen. I was also in a very famous Czech radio. I almost won the most prestigious Czech literature competition, Magnesia Litera. Don't ask me how is it possible. I have no idea. But we were in the semifinal, and then we just didn't win. But yeah, it happened. What also is a bit surprising for me, the book was sold. Yeah, okay, it's sold in Czech, obviously, but it was sold to China, the rights, so it would be published in China. It's going to be published in Serbia, in Netherlands, like in Germany, and they are working now on the English-speaking markets as well. So it's actually starting to be a thing. Let's say it like that. What I mean with the thing, this is the book, and officially in Czech is a bestseller. Think about it's a scientifically written book about the exploration of the solar system, and we sold more than 10,000 copies in Czechia, which is really like a huge number. 90% of all the books who are published in Czech are published with the numbers like 1,000 and less. We already sold 10 times more, and the number is still increasing. And as all the Christmas are almost here, the number would going much higher. But what is another outcome? I already finished another book for the same publisher. This time it's about geoscience and about some catastrophes, how the people are destroying the planet and how the planet is, you know, showing us what is happening when you change something within the system. So that's another geological book which would be published in 1.5 months. And at the moment now I'm just signing the contract to make a sequel for Vesmírníček. And this time it will be about exploration of the possibility to find a life across the solar system or elsewhere. So again, it would be a possibility to show to the public what we are doing as a scientist when we are searching for life, that we are not searching for UFO, but we are searching for something else. Yeah. Then, my third talk in a row, it's about the Geoscience comic book trilogy. We've been doing with me and my colleague at my institute some comics to outreach the seismology, magnetic field, and volcanoes, so better to say, some geophysical problems. And to be able to do that, we actually hired, or we outsourced the work to somebody who was more experienced. So we hired illustrator, Karina Kucherová. We get a copywriter, Lucia Lukašovičová, which was writing the bubbles within the comics. And we also hired Julia Novakova. She prepared a board game which is inside. How does it look? Yeah, why? Sorry, this is the motivation. All of you who are doing outreach, you know that to go outside and to speak somebody between the age 12 to 18 is incredibly complicated because it's like, yeah? And especially if you arrive and, yeah, I'm here to say something about the science, you know? So it's always like everybody are so annoyed. So we were like, yeah, maybe try to make a comics for you. It can work. So what we did was that we really make a comics about the seismology. This is a seismic wave, and is the story which is saying you how the seismic wave is formed, what is happening when the seismic wave is running through the inner structure of the Earth, how different properties of the rocks are changing the behavior of the wave, and how the waves can in the end cause the tsunamis or earthquakes. Yeah. Then next year, we were like, okay, so seismology is already explained, so we decided to go for magnetic field. In this second comics, we were trying to explain how magnetic field is working, why is it important, and how magnetic field is helping to protect the presence of life on Earth because it's preserving the atmosphere. And finally, the last one was about the volcanoes. So we prepared a story which is somehow inspired by what was happening on La Palma a couple years ago when there was a volcanic eruption, and we were showing to the public how volcanoes can be dangerous and how the volcanic gases can actually kill somebody and so on and so on. Each comics is associated with a board game, which were prepared by Novakova. Why? Because normally when you read the comics, it's like, yeah, that's it, I will throw it away. But if you put there something like a board game, somebody would likely play the game, so you are giving much higher chance that somebody would take the comics one more time into the hand, and probably he or she would learn something from it. And also, people are normally playing the board game with the parents, so this is again a tricky way how to, you know, to share the knowledge from the comics to older generation for the parents. Why I'm showing this to you is that all these three comics were released under the Creative Commons license, so they are free to be used. You can download them, you can share them, you can translate them in your own language if you want. We prepared the comics in Czech and English, so it should be quite easy for you to translate it to other languages if you would like to. There is a QR code which is going to this website where you can download them as a PDF. You can get the PDF which is normal for home printing, or you can have the professional PDF for printing as a professionals. So you can really use what we prepared, and you can share it among your followers or among your states, and you can use them to better explain the geosciences or geophysics. And that's it from my side. Thank you very much for your attention, and I will be here probably for questions later or now. Yeah, super. Yeah, the next speaker is going to be Novakova. She is online, and Novakova is also from Czech Republic, and she's doing astrobiology, and she's also a writer, science fiction writer, a successful science fiction writer, and she's also very active in outreaching the science.
So thanks for inviting me to present a Decentral European Hub session. The project I'm about to present to you today originated in the Czech Republic, so we're coming back a little to Petr's talks, and also it's a very international project spanning the whole world. It's about a science fiction and science essay outreach book titled Life Beyond Us that we created at the European Astrobiology Institute with collaboration with a Canadian publishing house, Laxa Media. And why use science fiction as a way for science outreach to create more interest in science and more science understanding, you might be asking? Well, science fiction can act as a sort of scientist's playground because it helps us imagine things that haven't happened yet. Like, what happens if we discover microbial life on Mars? How does it impact future Mars exploration, both robotic and crewed? How does it impact how we view the chances for life elsewhere in the universe, or the possible connection of Mars and Earth via lithopanspermia? How does it impact people's plans for eventually settling Mars? How does it impact culture, like would books get written about it, and so on? So it has both scientific and technological and societal ramifications. And science fiction can help us imagine these as a whole and how they might interplay. So it's great for asking these questions and for combining insights from different fields. And this sandbox for ideas also inspired multiple scientists on their careers. So we decided to form a team, Science Fiction as a Tool for Astrobiology Outreach and Education at the EAI, where we're aiming to communicate science and increase science interest through using science fictional examples or combinations of stories and science essays and so on, and also to examine the portrayal of astrobiology in science fiction. We started in 2020 with an ebook reprint anthology, Strangest of All. It contained 8 reprint science fiction stories, and I wrote a science essay to follow up on each one of them. This book is to be freely downloaded at the websites of EAI or my website, julinovakova.com. and also all the stories and essays are followed by tips for classroom use of the book. It's primarily for adult readers, but it can be used at high schools or for undergraduates. And since Strangest of All was perceived very positively with positive reviews and a lot of downloads, we decided to follow up on it with a more ambitious project of a print and ebook anthology of original science fiction stories and essays written by different experts on the topics that appeared in the stories. So it contains 27 science fiction stories from worldwide authors like Gregory Benford, Mary Robinette Kowal, Peter Watts, but also authors from European countries, from the Czech Republic. It's Tomáš Petrásek and Lucia Lukačevičová. We have Valentin Ivanov from Bulgaria, who is also an ESO astronomer, and so on. So it mixes inputs from different regions of the world and from different fields, because most of these science fiction authors also have backgrounds in science or engineering. And we invited scientists to write short essays on the topics that appeared in the stories. For instance, the first story by Canadian writer and engineer Eric Choi, titled Hemlock on Mars, concerns Mars exploration and planetary protection. And Giovanni Poggiali, an Italian scientist who collaborates, among other things, on NASA's Perseverance mission, wrote an essay on planetary protection, on its history and what's done today, and what we are trying to avoid when we enforce planetary protection. So this is just one tiny sliver of the 27 topics that appear in the book, both in science fictional stories and then in the science essays by experts. And to create the book, we ran a Kickstarter campaign back in 2021, and this might be a useful insight for people who would like to create such projects or outreach in the future, because crowdfunding is taking off even for these projects. Here you can see the funding progress ever since Juris 9th, 2021, up until 1 month later. You see that it was quite linear, which is not typical. Usually there's a big bump at the beginning, then a sort of plateau, and then it rises again at the end. So, I mean, not all projects follow the typical route. And if you decide to go with crowdfunding, be prepared that you will need to do even more promotion than you have prepared before the campaign starts, and you will need to prepare a lot of it before the campaign starts. And then also the costs that you expected might rise after the campaign is finished, which happened for like Beyond Us, because especially of COVID and of Russia's aggression in Ukraine, shipping costs, printing costs, paper costs, everything shot up. So in the end, the project didn't cover the expenses for the book, but we hope that it's successful enough soon to be back in like numbers. So far, the reviews are very positive, and it seems that everyone was able to find something in it, both in terms of the fictional stories and in terms of the fact essays, and everyone commended the combination. We also have further outreach plans with the book, because it's not the end to publish it and to write about it in articles and do podcasts and so on, where both the editors and writers and the essayists appeared, but we want to create materials to use it as a classroom resource, especially in undergraduate seminars at the university, but also possibly some high school classes. And we are going to release the first accompanying materials for classrooms very soon here at this website of the European Astrobiology Institute dedicated to life beyond us. And for the future, we are also thinking of organizing debates of science fiction authors and scientists, workshops for science fiction authors to be able to use more realistic science and to be more interested in showing how science really gets done. So it's not like, let's say, in some American sci-fi movies. And also a science fiction story competition is in the plans. And here is just a tiny snippet of how the educational materials that will be released freely on the website are going to look. Here are some discussion prompts, like what the students would do in place of the protagonist of the story when deciding about the planetary protection dilemma. And for university students, it's combined with going through science papers and discussing whether current methods for assessing bioburdens are sufficient or whether we should do more, and so on. So we hope that thanks to using narrative and being inspired by science fiction can really raise more public interest in science and inspire more STEM careers. And the mix of entertaining stories and also entertaining but containing hard facts, essays, will enable us to more effectively communicate science while capturing the attention of readers of various backgrounds, some of whom might not have been so interested in learning about science before. So I'm stopping my sharing. Here is the book. It's got almost 600 pages with those 27 stories, 27 essays, introduction by Stephen Baxter, and so on. And we really hope that it's going to make a difference in creating more interest in science. And I would be happy to answer questions, but I see we're almost out of time. So anyone can write me an email or contact me through Huba. I will be there.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm very pleased that I can, everybody who is not coming from Slovakia, to welcome you here at this nice place. Please be free to welcome Bratislava and the whole Slovakia who hasn't done it yet. My name is Lubomíra Hujsová. I am a very amateur astronomer. And I am here on the behalf of two organizations, of Slovak Astronomical Society and Slovak Union of Astronomers. So I would like to say hello from the chairman of Slovak Astronomical Society, Docent Rudolf Galis, and the chairman of Slovak Union of Astronomers, Miloš Obert. The both organizations, institutions are bringing together professionals and astronomers, amateur, and they used to be, well, there are two different organizations, but nowadays they are working closely together. And without astronomers, would the science not be so maybe interactive, and as well, and on the other side as well. So this cooperation has brought a lot of nice fruits in this nice Slovakian environment. It has a long tradition. I will talk about that a little later. Here I would like to point to these two beautiful pictures that were made by astronomers, amateur. The one was made, the picture of the sun was made from Bratislava balcony in a block of flats in Devinská Nová Ves.
So you can see that such a beautiful picture can be done also by an amateur astronomers from a city. And the second one, the partial solar eclipse, was made not from small village not far from Bratislava, from a garden. So this is one of the contributions of astronomers amateurs. First of all, I would like to present very quickly Slovak Astronomical Society, and then I will continue with the Slovak Union of Astronomers. So I will do it like this, please, because there's a lot more written than I can tell in 10 minutes. So Slovak Astronomical Society has a long tradition. It started in the end of 1950s as a Czechoslovak Astronomical Society, but a few years later it got its name Slovak Astronomical Society. It is a part of a Slovak Academy of Science. So this institution involves a lot of professionals. Yes, the headquarters is located in Tatranská Lomnica. It is a small town situated at the bottom of our highest mountains called High Tatras. So the sky there is still very good to do nice observations. The institution has more than 160 members, work in different branches, so in different places of Slovakia. Both institutions are trying to cover different parts of Slovakia. So whenever you would like to become a member of both institutions, there is always within 50 to 70 kilometers a place you can contact somebody and you find a very nice group of people who will help you, who will answer your questions, and who will help you to become the member of the both societies. So the main activities of Slovak Astronomical Society is focused on increasing the interest of young people and youth in astronomy. They are giving a lot of lectures and outreach events. One of these very popular one was with Telescope on the Road. They are doing conferences and workshops, not only for young astronomers and for students of universities, but also in different other fields. In astrophotography, they are preparing expeditions. Well, both of the societies. I will talk about that, about the Astronomical Union of Astronomers as well. So this Slovak Astronomical Society is organizing a also so-called Astronomy Olympiad, where young people from high schools can participate, and they are very successful in this Olympiad. Since 2016, the society has been awarding the Cherry Prize for outreach. There is once a year one person that has a long year contribution in outreach and popularization of astronomy get this special prize. Yes, and the society is involved in different national and international projects. Let's continue with Slovak Union of Astronomers. This institution was established in 1970s with the name of Slovak Union of Amateur Astronomers, but in 2013 it changed the name just to Slovak Union of Astronomers. The union was established in the cooperation with Slovak Central Observatory in Hurbanovo. Hurbanovo is situated on the very south of Slovakia, close to Hungary. So when you come to Hurbanovo, you can find definitely a lot of astronomers who speak not only Slovak and English, but very good Hungarian. Yes. So nowadays, the Slovak Union of Astronomers has more than 250 members. A few decades ago, it had several thousand members. My question was like, why are there so few members nowadays than before? So during that, during the communism time, but actually it was pretty automatic that every teacher of physics was a member of Slovak Union of Astronomers. Now this tradition was somehow interrupted, and hopefully one day this will be restarted. Okay, so as well as the Slovak Astronomical Society, also the Slovak Union of Astronomers work in every bigger city had 14 branches. As I said, if you would like to become a member, or if you have any questions about astronomy, if your child, not your child, but a child, would like to know how to use a telescope, there is always within a few kilometers a person who can help you. So Slovak Union Astronomers cooperate very closely with municipalities, with museums, with not only private but also not only public but also private small observatories, outreach centers. They organize where they're popularizing astronomy. They are making different exhibitions in astrophotography. They are doing sky observations. So if there is a special event in the sky, they visit schools. They organize observations in cities. They do different workshops. They do like marketing activities to promote these special events. So this cooperation between both associations and the public, yes, the public is becoming deeper and deeper, and this is actually what is the aim and the goal of one of the aims and the goals of both institutions. There is a nice sentence I would like to read. This collaborative approach enables the associations to effectively engage with the public and promote the wonders of the cosmos. Yes, and the headquarters of Slovak Union of Astronomers is in Observatory Rímavská Sobota, that is very close to Hungary as well, and the cooperation with them would be definitely very easy. So both organizations both organizations are taking part in different competitions. The one here, you can see 3 wonderful pictures from the competition Universe Without Borders. There is also a competition called Vesmír očami dětí. In English, it would be Universe Through Children's Eyes. And they are they are outreaching kindergartens, primary schools, and also secondary schools where while they are teaching, while the teachers are teaching like the laws of physics and the wonders of astronomy, they can also, during the subject of like arts, they can paint and draw wonderful pictures, and they take part in these competitions. So education and popularization of astronomy is present everywhere in general public, but the special aim is to touch the youth and young people. Of course, in both institutions are present very good professionals in the scientific field. Yes, there is a lot of outreach activities and events. Every March there is a day of observatories and planetariums. It is open for schools and for families. This is a very popular event. There is a nice event, it's a Women and Girl in Astronomy Day, because not only men but also women are very present in this wonderful astronomical area. I will talk about the dark sky parks at the very end. Well, there's a lot of different activities and events these institutions are taking part in. If yes, you can say the picture is in the movement. So the Slovak Astronomical Society and Slovak Union of Astronomers in their nice cooperation come to different outputs, if I can say that the member of Slovak Union of Astronomers, an amateur, Stefan Kurti, with he's a Slovak, speaks very good Hungarian, with his Hungarian friend, Sarnecki. They discovered an asteroid. There you can see the image of the flying asteroid on the video. Yes, so when a person would like to become a member of both of these institutions, you are very welcome. We are welcoming also international members. You have a possibility to become a member of different sections. There are 9 sections. Section of astronomical photography, of history of astronomy. You can get the membership in the section of interplanetary matter or protection from light pollution. We have 3 beautiful dark sky parks. Or if you like variable stars, exoplanets, who likes the sun can become the member of the section on solar research. I am, for example, the member of the section on education and outreach of astronomy. Whoever loves to travel can become a member of in the section of occultation and eclipses, or the last section is section on astronomical terminology. So there is a nice spectrum of sections, and everybody could find the right one for himself. Okay. So this is, I was talking about this a little bit. So both organizations participate in observing campaigns, expeditions. So they are traveling to see the solar eclipses. They organize the transit, the activities to watch transit of Venus, of Mercury. They are organizing scientific conferences, seminars and meetings, workshops. They are different conferences. If you would like to have this presentation with the whole list of these conferences, you are very pleased to come to me, and you will get it. A wonderful activity was the HAF. It was a workshop for Hlohovecká astrofotografia, where young people can come to this workshop, and during 2 days they learn how to use their cameras and telescopes and make 9 photos. Both institutions are also publishing vocational publications and different brochures. I'm sorry, I got some prepared, but I forgot them at home. But if you would like to have them, please feel free, contact me. I will can send them to you. Okay, and the last words. Both societies are very active in the field of light pollution protection. In Slovakia, there are 3 different dark sky parks. The one is on the, I will show you at the very end, there is a nice map. The one is in cooperation, the one dark sky park cooperates, also is a cooperation between Slovakia, Ukraine, and Poland. That's the one called Poloniny Sky Dark Park. Beskidy Dark Sky Area is a cooperation between Czech Republic and Slovakia. And Velká Fatra Dark Sky Park is a wonderful place on the top of the mountain called Fatra, with a nice chalet where you can easily drive with the car and you have the beautiful night sky ever. So Yes. So, and within this light pollution protection, their organization, or the both institutions are organizing conferences and seminars for yes, photographic competition. That's a nice one. Let's shine on the road, not on the stars. In the brochures that are always, so for example, when I bring them to the school during a presentation, these brochures can very directly show what kind of light pollution is, how the light pollution is very well, not I don't want to say dangerous, but very inconvenient for the animals, and how important it is to manage the pollution, not only in the cities but everywhere where people are living. Yes, let's please, because the time. Let's please just continue. So both societies are cooperating with astronomical, professional astronomical societies, international astronomical union, European Astronomical Union. Our very good partners are our Czech brothers, we say. So Czech Astronomical Society. Also, we are cooperating with professional astronomical institution in Tatranská Lomnica, with universities, with the Communist University in Bratislava, also in University of Pavla Jozefa Šafarika in Košice, and all, of course, with all the observation and planetariums and different astronomy clubs throughout Slovakia. Yes, here you can see 3 nice pictures of different outreach activities. The nice globe, you can see it is like a globe where there is one globe of Earth and one globe of Moon, and during outreach activities it is a nice place. It is a very good attraction. And now we come to this beautiful map. Here sorry. Does it? Yes. Okay. So we are at the very west of Slovakia. What you can see here, these are planetariums. These are observatories, and as you can see, the whole Slovakia is covered with like a network of planetaria, and not planetaria but mostly observatories. About the night, this is the dark sky park on the border with Ukraine and Poland. As you can see, this is, well, it is a beautiful place. I really yes, okay. So this is the second night sky park, and this is the third one. I am very pleased that that we went through this nice presentation. Please feel free, if there was something I didn't say, come to me, and there is always a person who speaks in both institutions, English, German, French, or even Spanish. Please feel free to contact us. So our cooperation also with different countries can happen. Thank you very much.
Okay. So it happened that within this area, within Hungary, we developed a new laboratory, and I would like to talk about our facilities and how we became the node of the Europlanet collaboration, the research infrastructure collaboration. Okay. So the motivation is well known. What happens in nature, what happens in the cosmos, what happens in the planetary system, and the specific field which we study is plasma-ice interactions. This is plasmas are very often appearing fields in nature, and ices are there everywhere. Ices are in the dense clouds, ices are in the planetary system, and the interaction between ices and charged particles. This leads to the most of the chemistry, the rich chemistry of the cosmos. Okay, what was the motivation in our side? In our institute, we had a strong laboratory of atomic and molecular physics, and our topic was atomic collisions. Atomic and molecular collisions, when you go from simple systems to more complex systems, you have problems because you cannot investigate all the aspects, and therefore you need to find solutions. One solution is modeling, theoretical modeling. Other solution is to extend the experimental studies for somehow support the theoretical modeling. This is an experimental multi-scale approach. And just an example, what does it mean? We can measure collisions, ion molecule interactions in gas phase, which is a rather clear situation. You can measure a lot of things, but it's also possible to measure low temperature ices made from the same gases. And this is something which shows in the direction of astrochemistry. Okay, Atomki is a very well equipped center of ion sources, ion accelerators. In practice, we already had the concept of a Bragg scanner, which or ion selection or ion selection can cover practically all of the energy region of the Bragg peak, which is also can be considered as a kind of solar wind generator. So we can go from a few hundred eV ions up to the low energy part of the galactic cosmic rays with our accelerators, and we cover the whole region. Here in the figure you see the spectra, the energy spectra of the ions in the solar system, measured by satellites. Some ions are there, and the horizontal lines there show what can we do within our institute. So this is we are well equipped to do such things. Okay. This is one of our new accelerators. This is a Thundertron, a 2 megawatt terminal voltage, and we have the energy range of the ions can be covered from 200 keV up to a few tenths of MeVs. And one of the beam lines here is devoted to our Europlanet facility. So this laboratory was born in collaboration with UK universities mostly, but not only, because we have a strong collaborator in Slovakia and also within Hungary. And the first, so we provided the accelerators, and the first chamber came from the Queen Mary University of London, and we established together with a Slovakian colleague there in Debrecen before the COVID. Actually, it was just before the COVID, and we became a member of the presently running Europlanet 2004 Research Infrastructure Network, and later we became a strong node of this network because the number of completed transnational access projects in Debrecen it's over 10 now, which is, and it was a continuous activity during the COVID too, so we are very proud of it. Okay, this is the so-called ITSA chamber, ice chamber for astrochemistry and astrophysics, which is which is set at the Tandaton beam line. And that's the schematic view of the chamber. We have a target region in the middle of this chamber. It's a cold area. We can go down to 20 Kelvin here. And we have an infrared transparent substrate, and we can deposit different ices on this cold substrate with background deposition. I mean, just let some gas into the chamber and let it be frozen onto the surface of this substrate. But we also can use evaporation cells for other materials and directed deposition for dangerous materials, which would cause a long cleaning procedure after measuring, but we can go closer, deposit there, it's no problem. The analytic method is infrared spectroscopy and mass spectroscopy of the sputtered ions or the background gas ions. We can use an ion beam and an electron beam for irradiating the sample. And the main analytical tool is the infrared spectroscopy. Okay, this shows that at the end of the cold finger we have a single sample holder which we can deposit ices simultaneously or more than 4 samples maximum, and then use different ion beams or different beams to irradiate them. It's very important when you are using charged particles and study the processes created by charged particles. It's very important to have an accurate fluence value. Therefore, it's a lot of work devoted to how to manage the ion beam and the electron beam to have a very good, very well known accurate fluence value. We need to sweep it like in the old monitors or TV screens, and then a lot of Faradays and moving parts are applied for this normalization. This is one of the first results, which is my favorite picture, because it shows what's going on in such ices, what can go on such ices. Very simple system. We have a CO2 ice deposited at 18 Kelvin, and we don't see the peak. This is the absorbance of the different products in the infrared, and we don't show you the CO2 peak because it's decreasing with increasing irradiation. The irradiation here is from small values goes up to very high fluences, and the products are increasing with the fluence. And what is the really funny thing is that the product, only one product, the CO, is a fragment. The 2 other products are synthesized. So it's not only breaking the molecule, the CO2 molecules, but the parts of the fragments of the CO2 molecules react with the surrounding. And that's why these studies are so important, because it shows the way how molecules, more complex molecules, can be synthesized within this ice chemistry. Okay, now the standard method of commissioning such kind of instrumentation is to use methanol ice, because this is well known from the literature. I just show you some sample spectra, and reaction pathways here. And this was the commissioning, and then the first PA, the first transnational access project was just in the middle of the COVID. In the middle of the COVID, it was there are some examples, which is, for example, this is an example how our irradiation points helped to establish a scaling which tells you something about the state of adenine, a more complex molecule in dense molecular clouds. And I skip this one. This is again very interesting, a very simple system. There's a carbon monoxide ice bombarded by helium ions, and you see that the theory or the scaling rules, which is shown by the line, they are very much different from what we could measure, and how the decay of the amount of the starting material depends on the phase of the ice. Okay, now this was the first station which we put into operation, but the second one was a kind of donation from the Queen's University of Belfast, another vacuum chamber very similar to the other one, which was built at the end of the beamline of the electron cyclotron resonance ion source. And this electron resonance ion source is just modeling the low energy part, the most intense energy part of the solar wind, the ions which are coming from the sun. And I just tell you that we have a lot of wide selection of not only positive but also negative ions and molecular ions coming out from this ion source. And the chamber, which got the name of AQUILA, which is a very nice name, but it means that Atomki Queen's University Ice Laboratory for Astrophysics. And it's a very similar chamber to the other one. Some pictures about it. Some parameters, which I don't go into the details here. If you are interested, I can discuss the details later. Preliminary tests made also by methanol, and we also have, so we have some, compared to the other similar facilities, we have some bonuses, not only the standard offering which is available for such things, but also we can apply negative ions and homogeneous irradiation. Okay, again, some examples. One topic is for the Enceladus ice. Another topic is potential biotic Europe ocean analogs. These are very preliminary results here. If you are interested, I can give you as a summary. I can tell that our institute is committed to be a really active player, and we got this active playership there with the support of the Europlanet collaboration and a lot of support from Hungarian national funds. And we have, of course, some plans. We also would like to set up a vertical beamline. This is the group, an international group. I don't need probably to go to introduce most of the persons right here. Okay, and this was a photo made around the first EA project about the supporting team, and here are the participants of the development. Thank you very much for your attention. This was me.
Actually, my talk would be the last one, but let me have the first one after the coffee break, okay? Because it is just time to finish. After this, we will continue on a more interactive like discussion, focusing on what to do in the next period under Europlanet and how to collaborate. And 3 here outside. Okay, so after the coffee, just come back, but stay there. Okay, that's all. Thank you.